Hi everyone, Tammy here and welcome to my channel and another collaboration challenge I'm doing with Marna at Dolls Rescued. Marna and I have done a number of these challenges. We did Snow White most recently, and we ask our viewers to watch our video to the end and then rank our attempts from 1 to 10, 10 being the highest, 10 being the highest, 1 being the lowest. Rank them down below in the comments, and then after you watch my video, head over to Marna's video, which I've linked below, and then do the same thing. Watch her video all the way to the end and then rank it between 10 and 1, 10 being the highest, 1 being the lowest, and then we calculate, we add up all of the votes and decide who is the winner of the challenge. So in past challenges, we have picked characters. We've done Alice in Wonderland, like I said, we did Snow White. Before that, we did Merida with the Disney Merida, and we are going to do some other characters in the future. We have Cruella that's going to come up in September, and soon after that we're going to do Maleficent. However, in between all these characters, we thought we would cleanse our palette with something a little bit different, a little bit fun and summery, and create bathing suits and cover-ups for our Blythe dolls. So that's what this challenge is. Actually there's 3 elements to it that we determined. We were going to do bathing suits, a cover-up, and then film our dolls by water. In fact, we're asking our viewers to join in again and vote, not only vote for us, but also participate if you want to do your own video using hashtag Dolly Swimsuits. You can make your own video and then put hashtag Dolly Swimsuits, and then that way anybody who wants to look up all the videos can just do a search through YouTube. Just search on hashtag Dolly Swimsuits, that's plural with an S. But Marna and I are the only ones that are part of the judging. We're the ones that are competing against each other, just to make that clear. Alright, so as you can see, I have Malibu here. She's all wrapped up in some fabric. I have a bunch of this fabric that I bought quite some time ago. As usual, before I go shopping for supplies, whenever I do any type of crafting, I always try to see what do I have on hand. And I have a whole bunch of this beautiful swimsuit style fabric. I bought it a long time ago when I was making headbands and trying to sell them in one of my Etsy shops. Didn't do too well, but I thought, you know, this would be perfect to make some little dolly bathing suits. So let me just preface this before I get too much further into it. This is not a tutorial on how to make a bathing suit or anything like that. I'm going to give you some tips. I'm going to share my creative process with you and then show you the finished product. All right, let me say, working with this sort of fabric is, for me, very challenging. It's very slippery. It moves all over the place. And I recently posted a video about how to make Blythe doll undies. And actually the tutorial for that could be used for other dolls too, just the basics. And in that I mentioned the use of starch. So I am going to cut out some of this fabric. And before I actually cut out the bathing suits out of it, I'm just going to cut like a square and I'm going to spray it generously with some of this starch. By the way, I will put the link either up here or down there for the undies video. I use the same exact process for making undies as I am going to use to make the bathing suit bottoms for my Blythe dolls. And I'm going to make 2 bathing suits, or attempt to make 2 bathing suits, one for Malibu and one for Miami. Okay, since I already have basically figured out my technique for making undies, I'm going to use that same technique to make bathing suit bottoms. And actually I did that already. So I took some fabric. This is a quick and dirty, but like I said, I have the link below if you want to have a more specific how-to on how to do these. I took some of the fabric, I sprayed it with the starch, let it dry. If you got to kind of do it generously, and it takes a little bit of time to dry, so let it dry. I took a pair of Blythe underwear that I already had, a pair I purchased, and I traced around them and I made a template like this out of paper. Then I placed the template over a piece of the fabric that is then dry, the fabric I already sprayed with the starch. I put it over this and take a fabric marker and trace all around it and cut it out. Fold it together, right sides together. And with the white undies that I make, it doesn't really matter, but for this, it's definitely, there's a front and a back. I fold it together, right sides together, and just hand stitch. I did a back stitch back and forth a few times, and then voila. Because of this fabric it won't fray or anything, you don't have to finish the edges. So there is a pair of undies. Go ahead and put these on Malibu so you can get a look. And I'm going to go ahead and make 2 pairs of these because I am going to make 2 bathing suits. One for Malibu and one for her twin sister, Miami. And I am going to make bathing suit tops. They're not going to be like going to a nude beach in Europe or anything like that. So let's see. Can you see? There you can see. There you can see her bottoms. Super cute. Now she has a jointed body and Malibu, no, this is Malibu. Malibu has a jointed body and Miami has a traditional style Takara body. So I will probably, with Miami's, I might make hers a little bit smaller through here, but otherwise that's the basic gist. Now on to figuring out a top. So I have a couple of ideas for bathing suit tops, and these are going to, if you haven't noticed already, I'm going towards the bikini style bathing suit, not a one piece. And the first one I'm going to do is just really, really basic and simple. I'm going to make a bandeau style top. I've already cut out the piece. I measured it, kind of deal. And you want to have extra because you want to tie it. And you can see this stuff is pretty stretchy. Alrighty. So there you go. Just basically it's a rectangle. And another little tip that I suggest is if you're comfortable with it, these can be, these can be pretty sharp. This and one of those, quilting mats that you put underneath, this is much easier to cut with. And so I just, I've already made the bandeau top, but I'm going to show you basically how I did it. Folded it in half, and then I used the roller and I trimmed off the edges so that they are, let me show you. So they're kind of pointy, like that. Okay, so I did both of them. Okay, just cutting off the edges so that they kind of point at the end. And then I took and gathered the center of the top with just some needle and thread. All of this is hand stitched, by the way. I did not use my sewing machine for either of these bathing suits. So they just hand stitch in the center. I added this little dangle charm. I think I'm going to try to do this something similar with the other bathing suit where I add another little charm here, right? So as you can see, this just wraps around her body and knots on the end. So let me put it on her real quick so you can see what she looks like in it. Okay, voila, check it out. So I just tied it a couple times in the back. It's just hand, like I guess it's a square knot. But it turns out to look like a little bow. Looks like a little bow detail, so I kind of like that. And then the front of it, you can see she's got the little gathered area right here. And I did it up at the top. I didn't do it all the way down, but halfway through. And then, like I said, I added this little charm on there. I think it turned out pretty darn cute. All right, so that's bathing suit number 1. For the second bathing suit top, I decided to try to make sort of a halter style top. Here again, I cut out a paper piece, put it over the fabric like this. So I cut all of this out. Again, I used the rotary cutter, and I found that to be very, very useful when cutting this fabric. Here is the little finished halter style top, and again, all hand stitch. I just folded over the pointy part and hand tacked it on there. And again, I added a little charm. And then this is, you can see this is the part here. Okay. These are the sides. And again, they just tie around her middle part. For the neck, I cut out, I had this turquoise colored hemp. And I believe this is like about 6 inches long. And I just strung it through there. And you don't have to trim it or do anything. Let me put this on the doll and show you what it looks like on her. And there she is. There is Miami in her super cool tankini. So her top is a little bit longer. And obviously the bandeau type top that I made for Malibu. Let me get a good hold on them so you can see them. But I have some really good video I'm going to be including at the end. I did some video outside. But you can see both of them have their cute little bathing suits on now. How cute is that? All right. Now I'm going to show you how I made their cover-ups. I ended up just crocheting a couple of cover-ups, and I will basically describe how I made them If you want me to do something in more detail, let me know. I could do a separate video for that, but I don't want this video to be overly long. I have some really cool footage at the end of my dolls hanging out by the water, so I want you to enjoy that. So this is just some scrap yarn that I had left over. It is fingering weight sock yarn, so it is a mixture of nylon and wool. And I don't even remember who made this, but it is some indie dyed yarn, so it's pretty cool looking. You can see this is basically just again, the good old rectangle, but I skipped a stitch here partway through so that I can make armholes, and then I have a couple of tails that I just left so that I could use these as ties. So, and you just put her arms through it like that, and then tie a little knot. And voila, here is her cute little crocheted cover-up. So there is Miami. So the other idea, again, I just went with kind of like, this time I made a couple of squares. Actually I made one square, and then I think this is the first one I did. So you can see it's just two squares that are attached on the bottom and attached at the top. And then when I added the fringe, I used the tails and attached just the two sides. So it just slips on the doll, and I'll show you how it goes on. We'll get Malibu to model this one. At least she will not flash you guys. All right, so that's it. And you can kind of like have her have it kind of off to the side a little bit. Okay, here are the dollies in their bathing suits and cover-ups. All right, everybody, so that's kind of wrapping up how I made both of these outfits and their little cover-ups. Please stay tuned to the end of the video. I'm going to show you some footage I took outside at the Indian River in Florida. It's on the east coast of Florida. I visited family in Brevard County, and my sister took me out to this little area off of the river, and I just set up my little dollies. And we took some pretty cool looking footage. I think you're going to like it. As I asked you before, make sure you watch the end of the video, and then make sure that you hang out and vote 10 for the highest, 1 for the lowest, okay? Anywhere between 1 and 10, 10 being the highest. And once you've given me your vote down below, make sure you go over to Marna's channel, watch her video that I have linked down below, and also rank hers as well. This vote, guys, it really means a lot to us, you know, to have some sort of participation and engagement with our audience. YouTube likes it a lot too. But, you know, this is why we're doing it. It's for you guys. We're here for the audience. So it's always nice to have some sort of feedback from all of you guys. I really appreciate you stopping by and hanging out with another dolly challenge between Marna and myself. Have a wonderful dolly day. Bye-bye. Cover up. She says, peace, y'all. Peace, craft dolls.